Here we're going to learn simplifying square roots. We did this at the start of the year very briefly, but I don't feel like it's something we have mastered, and we're going to layer on by using the TI Inspire to help us with our factoring, and it's really kind of fun. So simplifying square roots, I'm going to refresh memory of our perfect square list. So you would write the numbers 1, 2, 3, and so on. So I'll do this. I'll go up to 16, and then you're going to say 1 squared gives you 1, 2 squared gives you 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, 121, 144, and so on. I'm out of space here at 12, but I hope that you can memorize at least up to 12. So we'll put some commas in here. So basically, these are all perfect squares. So if you get the square root of 9, you know that's 3. If you get the square root of 36, you know that's 6, and so on. It's nice to have those fresh in your brain. However, if I go back to my list, I can see that 90 would be between 81 and 100, so it's going to be between 9 and 10. So to simplify square roots, we are not given a perfect square. So we might say to ourselves, okay, 90, what's that between? And the answer would be somewhere between 9 and 10 if we're asking to eyeball or approximate when you take the square root. But if I'm asking you to simplify the radical, I would need to find my factors of 90. And we have done this by hand, and we've said, well, we've got 1 in 90, 2 in 45, 3 in 30, 4 and 15, wait, let's see, so 4, I think that actually it's 6 and 15, because 4 and 15 is 60. You can see where even I'm struggling with this. So 6 and 15, and then 9 and 10. So you're looking for something that has a perfect square, and that would be our 9 and 10. So you rewrite this as the square root of 90 turns into 9 times 10. You know this is a perfect square, so you take the square root of 9 and pull it outside, so you get 3, and then 3 roots of 10. Now, how are we going to do this using the TI Inspire? We are going to actually find our prime factorization. So our prime factorization, and I'll show a different video for how to do the TI Inspire, but would be 3 times 3 times 10. So you might remember the factor trees from earlier years. If you took 90, you would say that's 9 times 10, and 9 goes to 3 to 3. So your prime factorization is your 3 times 3, and actually, really it goes down to 2 times 5. So we'll take it all the way down. That's what it would give you in the TI Inspire. So 3 times 3 times 2 times 5. Watch how that changes what we do for the problem. So now the square root of 90, this is the other way to look at it if we use our Inspire or a factor tree, is we can write that as 3 times 3 times 2 times 5. And therefore, anytime you have 2 numbers under the square root, you know one of them can come out. So you see that you've got 2 3s. That means 1 can come out, and you're left with your 3, and they're gone. So it's like 3 times 3, it just gets removed, like the whole thing. So you take that 3 out, you're saying, oh, that means the square root, and that leaves me with 2 times 5. So either way, you get 3 roots of 10. Let's look at another one. Oh, we did 60. So here, we've got 63. So I can use my TI Inspire, and we'll do that separately, but let's do the factor tree and the method we learned in class a while back. So our factors of 63, 1 and 63, 3 and so you've got 63 divided by 3, so I've got 3 and 21. This is where, if you remember your divisibility rules, it's super nice. If you don't, that's okay. And then you've got your 7 and 9. So you're looking to see which one has a perfect square. Here we go. Our 9 does. So I'll show you the way we learned earlier this year. We would say square root of 7 times 9. We know that 9 is a perfect square, so keep in mind we would say, oh, square root of 7 times the square root of 9. I know the square root of 9 is 3, so I can replace this with 3 roots of 7. I don't know the square root of 7. The TI Inspire or factor tree way is super easy when you use the Inspire. With the factor tree, you still have to do some thinking. But 63, we know factors into 7 and 9. You could use any of the factors that you have, and we can show it with 21 and 3. So 7 is the end of the line. It's just 1 times 7, but 3 can go down, 3 times 3. So the prime factorization of 63 is 7 times 3 times 3. So we would say, oh, square root of 63 is 7 times 3 times 3. You see 2 3s, that means you can take 1 outside, and you've got 3 roots of 7. Let's just suppose for a minute you didn't recognize 7 and 9 as factors. You only saw 3 and 21. So that's where the factor tree comes in and is really helpful, 3 and 21. You know 3 is prime, end of the line. You know 7 and 3 make 21, so 7 times 3. So you get to that same prime factorization, whatever you start with. Let's look at another 6 already, 3 and so 112. So again, the calculator will be super useful for you, but I'm just going to go straight to the factor tree. So I know and I'll start by just me keeping it simple and saying 112 divided by 2 gives me 56. So 2 and 56. And then I know 56 divided by 2 gives me 28. And I know 28 divided by 2 gives me 14. And I know 14 divided by 2 gives me 7. So now my prime factorization of 112 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 7. The TI Inspire will show up like this. So we're going to go ahead and write all those numbers under here. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 7. And then every time we see a pair, we take it out. So we can take our 2 out, we take our other 2 out, and we keep the 7 in. Outside, 2 times 2 gives us 4, so we end up with 4 roots of 7. So that would simplify to 4 square roots of 7. Let's look at another one. We did 90. 28. So we can do our factor tree, or we can use our TI Inspire. So 4 times 7 gives me 28. That's almost there, but 4 can be 2 times 2. So I have 2 times 2 times 7 as my prime factorization. So I could write 2 times 2 times 7. I have 2 2s. Haha, 2 2s. So I take out my 2. I have 2 roots of 7. I feel like me. So 96. And let's look at 96. So 96, we have our factor tree, and whatever you think of first, it doesn't matter. Everyone can have a different approach. So if you divide it by 3, you end up with 32, so 3 and 32, and then 32 is 8 and 4, and then 8 is 2 times 4, 4 is 2 times 2, and 4 is 2 times 2. I have a whole lot of 2's here, so I'll have this. There was probably a more efficient way to get there. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2's. So that would be 2 to the 5th times 3. So I'll put those underneath. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3. So every little cluster of 2 one comes out. So 2, another cluster out. And now I have 2 times 3 left. Oops, 2 times 3 left inside. So I'll end up with 4 square roots of 6, 2 times 3. So I will have you watch a video of how to do this on the TI Inspire as well. It's really kind of cool. So I was excited to learn how to do it.